Hello everyone, I am back from the dead with another episode of my Let's Play series. It's been a while and I have quite a lot of stuff to show. Starting, well, with this. This is my new main storage. I've been thinking of upgrading from a simple wall of chests I had previously for a very long time, and actually dreading this project was pretty much what made me stop playing for a while. However, after considering my options, I decided to make another, even bigger wall of chests. Here I have a wing for chests dedicated to any single item type, as well as another one for groups of items. I spent quite a lot of time organizing them into meaningful sections, and I think, while obviously an automatic solution would have been better, this is still a considerable improvement over what I had. I also have some utility stuff here. Dedicated shelves for consumables, shelves for upcoming projects, a big wall for unstackables, and also an automatic trash disposal. Astern, I have my cabin with some very basic decorations and a brewery. I was thinking of making an automatic one, but to be honest, I just don't have that much use for it. The bridge is pretty barren, although the look from it is pretty cool. And I also like how it looks from the outside. Oh, by the way, that's my slime farm. I never showed it on video because it's frankly not all that interesting. If you look at my coordinates, you may realize that I have a mushroom island very close to my spawn. This seed is ridiculous. In the last episode, I was talking about building a large overworld mob farm. And that's exactly where we are heading now. It's over 800 blocks in negative x direction, which by the way highlights just how useful and how quick these nether highways are. It certainly takes some time to get up there. Currently, I am standing at the AFK position of the farm. And thanks to the very helpful tweak that is FreeCam, I can show you how it works. Yep. The floor shifts and the mobs drop right through. Here they die. Their drops are collected and filtered here. Unfortunately, I can't really show you... Or can I? Actually, no, that's not spectator, so I cannot show you the contents of the chests and just how insanely quick this thing is. Well, it is insanely quick by my standards, because for any somewhat technical world, this is frankly kind of pathetic. Some of the mobs, like chicken jockeys as well as mobs wearing decent armor, survive the fall and... oh, here it is. This is why the killing platform is made out of magma blocks. Right after I built the farm, I spent about 2 hours AFKing here and got so much materials that I still have more than 2 shulker boxes of each. I think I don't really need to run it right now. Thankfully, the way down is very quick. And here we can just about see, well, not here, not here. Here we can just about see the speed of the farm. I think I'm turning this thing off. I really don't need any more stuff. For no particular reason, I decided that my next major project was going to be a blaze farm. Here are a couple of my early design iterations, which are actually quite flawed. I placed lava one block above where it was supposed to be, and so it creates the light level too high for blazes to spawn right beneath the spawner. Here I remedied that issue, as well as took my time to build quite an extensive decoration around the farm. Because this is frankly just too simple for my taste. Using the farm is very simple too. You just stand here, wait for the blazes to spawn, and kill them. A blaze-based XP farm is about twice as efficient as an overworld spawner farm, if I remember correctly. And given how little effort it takes to build something like this could probably be your starter XP farm. As I finished this decoration and was searching for a good place to build the farm at, I discovered that I had a double blaze spawner around 600 blocks away from 00, so it was pretty much back to square one. This time I didn't have a good idea on how to build the farm myself, so I looked up a guide and found a very nice video explaining both the spawner mechanics in general and how to build this farm in particular, which I will link in the description. The farm uses a slightly different and arguably better lava layout at the spawn chambers, and these interesting looking lava staircases to transport the blazes up and to the player to kill them. Of course, I wasn't planning to leave my blaze farm undecorated. And here you can just about see what I plan to build. Building this is going to take forever, I can already see it. Should have also brought a couple turtle eggs to continuously get rid of these guys by just luring them over the side of the platform. I'm placing on the wrong stuff. Am I? Am I not? Well, at least I had the common decency to not make this part also textured with 3 different blocks at once. At least collecting all the dirt on major digging sites turned out to be a useful thing after all. Oh, that's another fun part of Litematica. You always have to try guessing, is this actually a block or not? Okay, at least I'm sort of starting to see what was the point of some of these block changes. I really did not think of the future me, goddammit. Then designing this thing. Imagine if I accidentally hit a single pigman right now. Just look at him. Literally sniping me from a hideout. I'm so scared of ghasts. Even though I'm pretty confident that not even falling in lava will kill me in this... with this gear. I kinda don't want to lose time on it. So I'd rather avoid such incidents. I've just remembered something. Or rather, I remembered it is possible and looked up how to do that. Wow, turns out to be working with a mod is so much easier than you know how to use it. I am honestly kind of embarrassed. Given how much I like thunderstorms, I should probably be outside right now, enjoying the weather, but, well... This one was scary. Pretty sure something flashed in my house. That was not a pleasant experience. You know, on a second thought, as much as I like thunderstorms, this is a bit too much for me. This legitimately looks like I'd have a decent probability of being struck by lightning. Now that I'm up here, how do I get down though? Maybe like this. It's only been 3 hours or so of building. I am all out of fire resistance. My inventory is full of junk. I'm pretty sure I'm missing some of the... What? Yeah, this thing. It's actually overhanging lava by something like 20 blocks or so. And I managed to pearl underneath it. Actually, for the second time. This also happened yesterday. I gotta demolish this thing in a while. What do I do now, though? Pearl back? Oh no! I legit forgot that this counts as a projectile hit. It is the next day. I restocked on materials and fire res, as well as did some progress off camera. In particular, assembled almost the entirety of the first spawn chamber. These sections turned out to be a lot easier to build than the central one, partly because there is quite a lot of simple flat surfaces, and partly because I got somewhat more accustomed to using Lightmatica. Wrong button. This was supposed to be an ender pearl. Wrong button again. Meanwhile, I'm thinking of what I should build next. One goal I set a while ago would be to build a guardian farm. However, that seems like a project I really am not ready to attempt. I know there are some surprisingly low-tech and early game guardian farms, but that honestly not what I would like to build at all. I am aiming at, well, pretty much at a mega project. Probably the first thing that would qualify as a mega project in my world. So that will have to wait. When designing this farm, I set a goal for myself to at least try and decorate it, and ideally as much of the subsequent builds of mine as I can. Since while some farms do look somewhat interesting on their own, most don't. And if there's one thing I learned from watching some players from big technical servers, it is that they are at least as good at decorating farms as they are at designing them. Nailed it. Looks like a case of another turret gust. I hate them. Another thing I decided for myself regarding decorating farms is that I really don't want to... how shall I put it? Directly use the purpose of the farm in the theme for decorations. So definitely no furnace arrays surrounded by a giant furnace or melon farms inside of a colossal melon for me. I am getting reasonably good at sniping ghasts at close to medium distance, but when they are far away, I am still quite bad at it. Speaking of sniping, I recently got so sick of phantoms that I even decided to disregard my decision to play vanilla and install a plugin that disables them, because this is ridiculous. I genuinely don't understand what was the point of adding them. By the way, can we talk about just how good of a block palette black stone and deep slate is? Honestly, anything that is supposed to look sort of old, rustic, and somewhat rough can be built out of them. Polished deep slate is probably the most, stone-looking stone in the game. And if what you're building is supposed to look made of stone, then it is probably your best choice. Black stone is great for texturing, adding volume, and if you're making some sort of scary evil fortress, then it might as well serve as the base building block. Another big thing I am tempted to get started on is upgrading my gold farm. While the one I have does produce quite a lot of gold and more than enough XP, the amount of gold it yields doesn't satisfy one very particular requirement of mine. I am not getting quite enough obsidian. And since obsidian is pretty much the main thing I'm bartering for, that's a pretty serious incentive to build a bigger and better gold farm. Considering that my previous one is pretty much a known design scaled down, the very obvious solution would be to just go ahead, mine an insane amount of magma blocks, and finally build the full-scale version as Nambon himself intended. However, I might want to consider something even better, possibly a hybrid turtle egg plus portal based farm, or even just a portal spam one. Although that latter option requires such an absurd amount of obsidian that I will probably have to build the first one to build the second one. And I am not entirely sure if by that point I will even have a reason to upgrade. Meanwhile, the build is slowly but surely approaching something of a completed state. And the farm is done. For the ceiling piece, I just moved the original design slightly upwards and added a simple connection to the ceiling. Not entirely sure if I am satisfied with the result, but I think it looks good enough. Now, all that's left is to remove this temporary platform and activate the spawners. And the farm is ready to be tested. As far as I understand spawner mechanics, blazes are going to show up immediately the moment I lower the light level. Yep. That's exactly what I was expecting. I ran the farm for an hour. Let's see what we got. Almost 20 stacks. Before that, I did some testing and got a bit more. I also repaired all of my tools, although that took quite a bit of time. The farm is certainly not the best one when it comes to XP. All in all, this was something of a side project for me, not really fitting into any of my existing or planned supply chains. The amount of blaze rods I'm getting is more than enough that I need for brewing, but at the same time, almost certainly not enough if I'm going to use them as fuel source. Charcoal, despite being somewhat less efficient, is still easier to get in much greater quantities. Still, even though it isn't all that directly useful, I had a ton of fun with this project. Well, designing it a ton of fun, not so much building it. I don't have immediate plans for any large-scale projects, but I want to tackle some smaller things I've been planning for a while. A honey farm, a hoglin farm, something that doesn't take quite as much effort. But that's for the next episode. Until then, bye.